Living and Undead, thank you for joining me. My name, of course, is Herd Zombie, and welcome to part 2 of the OBS tutorial. Today we'll be going over scenes and sources. Now, I do not claim to be an expert at tutorials, nor am I any good at all. But this is my second time doing the entire thing through, and I should have it down pat by now. If not, I do apologize. But I hope you get the most out of the information that I provide to set up your streaming extravaganza. Now, last time when I made this tutorial, I set up this entire thing of sources for a scene that we're using for an example. I'm going to delete this, and we're going to start all over again, because technical difficulties are fun. Okay, so what we're going to look at, scenes and sources. What are scenes? Scenes are basically loadouts, or profiles, if you would, for the different kinds of varieties of layouts that you would like on your stream. You are not limited to one sort of layout that you have to manually move around and change things individually, because that consumes time. So OBS has set up different sorts of scenes for you to make out different layouts for, like, if you want your webcam on the top right or on the bottom left, or if you want an overlay, and if you want one without an overlay, etc., etc. I usually have two, one with an overlay and one without, but for whatever reason, I had to redo my scenes and sources, and I just never got around to putting the one with the overlay back on. And sources are everything, of course, contained within the scenes, your webcam, the game capture, GIFs even. We're going to go over all of that today. Okay, so the first thing you want to do when you see this, it's going to be a blank screen. You want to add a scene. Name it whatever you want pertaining to what you're going to use it for. Click OK. And here we go, 0 sources within the scene. Sorry for the lack of English. At this point, after we've created the scene, we're going to go to Preview Stream. Now this is what's going to show up on the other end, as well as when you're streaming, you're going to be able to see a preview of what's going on the viewer side. And this is where you're going to be able to control the positions of all the things that you put, all the sources that you put up on to your list. And it's basically just your thing. You get it yet? Okay. We're going to go down the list of the basics, and I'm going to show you a couple things that you can do with the basics that OBS provides. And then afterwards, I'm going to show you a couple of tips at the end of the video of things that you can use that are going to be really useful for you to make your stream individual. And those include putting your chat in the stream for the people that have wanted to know how to put the chat in the stream. I'm going to be doing that at the end of the video, so stay tuned. Watch everything. And I might even do notifications if I have time. But if I don't, then it'll be in the next tutorial, because that involves plugins, and plugins are fun. Yes! Okay, the first one we're going to go to, we're going to right click on the source box, we're going to go to add, we're going to go to window capture. Now I bet you can guess what window capture does. It captures a window. Good job. You can use this for such things as Chrome. Say if you're capturing, say if you're editing a video and if you want to show it off to your stream for whatever reason, you can do it for that, or you can record it. Same thing. Window capture works for that. So we're going to go to window capture, and I'm going to show you an example of how I use window capture, because it's not just capturing a window. You can do a couple of interesting things with it. I'm going to go to window capture. We're going to see what window we want. Click the drop down menu. We're going to open up Spotify. Here's my Spotify. Sorry that only half of it is on. It's on the other monitor. I am trying to conserve room. We're going to make sure that that clicks up since we have the window active, and we click refresh. It is now on the list of things to pick from. We're going to pick it. Inner window, because nobody wants the outer window involved in that nonsense. We don't need to capture the mouse cursor. We don't need any of these checked. Opacity, of course, we're going to keep it 100. Subregion. This is the cool part. You can select a certain part to be shown, a specific part of the window to be shown. We're going to go ahead and select the region. It's going to create a box around the program that we are, but we're going to move OBS a little out of the way. We're going to close that, move OBS over here. We're going to shorten it up a bit. I do apologize again. We're going to go ahead, add window capture, blah, 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 Spotify, subregion, select no, we'll get that out of there. Subregion. Okay, and then it creates a box around the window that you have selected. Now what you're going to do is you're going to make the window smaller. This is just specifically what I use it for. You don't have to use it for this, but I like it. And then you're going to go around the little part where it says what song is playing. And right now, what am I listening to? I'm listening to Smooth McGroove, boo-bopping on the acapella with the Chrono Trigger main theme. I do love my Smooth McGroove. Okay, now we're going to select it nice and tight like this. I like to get the album art in there just to showcase that on the stream, although it doesn't work sometimes, and you will see why. Okay, now that we selected that, we can either press Enter, Escape, or click outside the rectangle. I just like clicking out the rectangle outside the rectangle because I am lazy. And if we press OK, look at that. There we go. Go to Edit Scene, and then it'll go around whatever part of the source is selected, or whatever source is selected. It'll make a little movie thing. And there's a lot of things you can do with this. You can up and down the size very easily just by clicking and dragging. If you press Shift, it'll stretch it if you need to fit it in a tight overlay section or whatever. If you press Alt, it will cut the picture out. So if you want to smooth it down just a little more, say if you just want to do this, and if you want to get rid of the album art, you don't need to reselect the region. All you need to do is press hold Alt and then move it like that. It's pretty fun. Okay, and another thing that I do, just because if my background is not gray, I don't want that gray to stick out on the background. So what I like to do is I like to use a color key, and this is just a chroma keyer that'll take the color that you select and gray it out. Look at that. It's gone. It's completely transparent, so anything that you put it, the background will, you know, show through, and it'll just be the album art and Chrono Trigger main theme, Smooth McGroove. The only reason this would not work is because sometimes album art is gray, so it'll look a little funny there, but if you have it small enough, nobody really notices. It's alright. And I have mine behind a gray background anyways, so, you know, it usually fills in the gray. Easy as that. You can change the similarities and blends. There you go. A transparent song title thing that tells everybody what song you're listening to and gives you the album art. It's really fancy and cool. I like it, and it's Spotify approved. The next one we're going to check out is monitor capture. You guessed it. It captures your monitor. I have two monitors, and my default monitor is number 2, so I'm going to select that, and it's going to give us a little bit of streamception, so hold on to your britches, ladies and gentlemen. Again, you can do the subregion for this same exact way, and color key, just like window capture, works the exact same way, so we're not going to get into that. Monitor capture, look at that streamception right over there, and that selects your monitor. Now this is a good thing to point out as well. You notice how I don't see the Spotify thing that we just put up a second ago? That's because the sources are all based on where they are on the list. If window capture is below monitor capture on the list, that means that the window capture thing that we put up is behind the monitor capture. So what you can do, there's a couple things that you can do. You can go to order, right click it, go to order. You can move up, down, move to the top, move to the bottom, change the position, size, fit to screen, whatever you like to do. You have all these options here, remove, rename properties. But what we're going to do is we're going to move it up. And you see how it has a little hotkey there, control up, control down. Do that, look. Now Smooth McGroove, and you can change the similarities and the blending just so that little black, that little annoying bit of black isn't there. You can make it nice and smooth if that is if you're that picky. But what we can do, control up and down, we'll move it up and down on the list depending. If you don't see anything that you put up there, just remember that that might be the reason why. So now that we have monitor capture all set up, monitor capture is fairly simple, so we don't need to go into any detail there. It literally captures your monitor. It's great. Now we're going to go to the next one. Image. Image is my favorite because I've been recently using it for GIFs on my stream, and I like it because it puts a little flare onto the screen, and it's fun. GIFs. You can do GIFs. You can do regular images, or you can do GIFs. And PNGs work as well, so the background will be removed automatically if it is a PNG image. Keep that in mind. Color, opacity, check file for changes, use color key just in case it's not a PNG. Then we're going to go to browse. We are going to find a GIF. Found one. We're going to use this one. What is this, you say? There we go. Look at that. And if you notice, the back... if you notice, the background is white. So we're going to go to color key. Select white. Make sure our head's not in there when it happens. Bam! Look at that. And we're done. We're going to make the similarity a bit higher. Get that white out of there if we can really tell. Oh my god, that's impossible to keep track of. Okay, that looks pretty good. We have our amazing GIF set up. I love that. That's so good. Look at the streamception on the... Anyways, so there's a GIF. We put a GIF on our... OBSN is amazing. I'm going to turn off window capture. Oh, no, I'm going to turn off monitor capture just so we don't have that streamception going on and making it hard on the eyes. Nobody likes that. But yeah, basically, image, just select the file in your directory, and if you move it, it's not going to work. So if you move the file, then you're going to have to reselect it. Add, the next thing we're going to need is image slideshow. What is image slideshow? What is image slideshow? Well, it's the same thing as image, only it does a slideshow. Look at that. Time between images, seconds, 10, disable fading, fade in only, randomize, opacity, add the files, go in here, select a whole bunch. Like, don't steal all my GIFs. We're gonna go 2 seconds between each. We're gonna press OK. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Great. That is image slide. I'm just gonna keep saying slideshow. That is image slideshow, and that's how that works. It's great. Next one. Global sources. So you're not going to see this on your list unless you set up global sources, which I recommend now that you decide to do, because what global sources does is you set up, say how I chroma keyed this. If you set this up in global sources and then add a global source through the source page, it will save the chroma key settings that you put on through here, and every time that you add this image to a scene, it will always be chroma keyed if you do it through the global sources. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example right now. We're going to go to add. We're going to go to image. Going to name it GIF. We're doing an image capture again. We're going to go back to this lovely lady here. And we're going to use color key this time throughout this. We're going to select, actually we're going to keep it white because that works. Okay, and now it is set up through the global source. It's not going to go onto your source right now, but we're going to right click, add global source, the GIF that we just made, and there it is. It's not as perfect as the last one, but you gotta fiddle. You can also fiddle with it through there, and I'm pretty sure that this changes the setting of the global source if you now change it in the source that you put it in. So you can change it through here just like normal, but it will automatically default to this if you select it through the global sources, which is really helpful if you got to set up multiple things with similar properties. So like overlays on like 4 different scenes or something, then you don't have to go and select the overlay, chroma key it, blah, blah, blah. You can just do it the right way the first time and then put it on all of them the exact same way. It's great. I love telling you how great this is. The next one we're going to go over is text. Now, I'm going to go in a detailed tutorial next time on the ways you can utilize text to your benefit that'll help you, unlike this, which I'm just going to tell you that it's a text thing. Select your font. You can select your custom fonts that you put in on your operating system. Anything that you want, like Bestest Buddies. I don't know why I have that font, don't ask, but I do, and you can put it on and it'll show up perfectly fine. Color, opacity, scroll speed, we're going to put that on 20 just for an example. Background color, background opacity, use outline. Now if you put up the background opacity, it will give you a background. Just keep that in mind. Use outline, use custom text extents, font size, bold, italic, underline, vertical, use point filtering, you get the idea. Now we're just going to enter some random ass text because I'm not going to go into detail on how you can utilize this to your advantage, but basically you can select text files through using a separate program in order to give you notifications. Say if you want it to show up who was the most recent donator on your stream and you want it to update automatically. I'm going to teach that in another tutorial on how to do that, and you basically use the text to utilize these programs. You go into browse, selects the text file, program updates the text automatically, so from there you don't have to do anything. Anyways, that's text. I didn't actually add it, hold on. I'm going to add it just because I'm persistent. There we go, text. We're gonna put a little scroll speed on that. There we go. Look at that. Scrolling text. It's great. Wee dabba 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 dabba. Okay, moving on to the next part, and that will be CLR browser. We are not going to go over that today. That is a third-party plugin that is really useful. You're going to want to need it, but we're going to put it in another tutorial for you guys. WATC, same thing. I do not use this plugin anymore, so I probably won't even go over the tutorial. It's not that great.
What do you say we cut the chit-chat? A-hole!
Video capture device. What are you going to use for a video capture device? Well, Your webcam is a video capture device, so we might use it for that. Also, god dang it. Also, capture cards are considered video devices, and when you set up capture cards in your PC or externally, like the Elgatos or the new Elgato HD60 Pro, that's an internal capture card, you're going to select it through the video capture device source instead of using something like game capture or window capture. It works through here, and it should be selected like this if you have all your drivers updated and it's working properly. But we're going to go Logitech HD Pro webcam C920 for now. And if your webcam comes with a software to configure it, you can click configure and it'll open your own webcam software so you can configure the exposure, gain, brightness, blah blah blah. Stuff like that. Great stuff. And you can flip the image vertically, horizontally, use point filtering, dendrolacing. Audio input device. You do not want to have this enabled because if you have it set up properly through the settings, your OBS should be capturing your mic regardless. So you don't want to use the mic inside of your Logitech webcam or whatever webcam you're using because they usually suck. Unless that's what you're using anyways, then I suggest getting a better mic. But anyways, this is something that I use for my webcam. I don't know if this is applicable for every webcam make and model. But when I use the output format i420, it for some reason gives me a desync on my audio and video. So I just go ahead and change that to MJPJ. That might not apply to you, so if it doesn't, don't worry about it. It just applies to me. So if that's happening, then switch it to that. I found that to be the reason and it fixed it properly. Chroma key. Do you like green screens? Do you have a green screen? Well, here you go. Chroma key, that green screen. Chroma key that green screen right in there. You can go ahead and do that, change the similarity, blend, spill reduction. You can make it perfect. I've seen great uses of chroma keying green screens in other streams, and it'll work fine with this as long as you set up your similarities, blends, and spill reductions properly. Again, like I said, I just want to remind you guys, I'd set all these up on your global sources first and then add them into your sources that way, because you'll have the preferences saved, so every time you go and select your Logitech for a separate scene, you're not going to have to set up your chroma key all over again or your output format or things like that, just to keep it saved and for ease of use like that. It took me a long time to figure that out. I'm just saving you guys some time, and hopefully it helps you as well. We're gonna click OK, and there's my face. I chroma keyed it by accident. Great. We're gonna take that off. Hi, how you doing, guys? This is my only green shirt, but I'm wearing it today. And again, we can just go ahead and make me smaller, just so I don't take up the entire screen. And if we hold Alt, we can cut out the nasty bits that we don't want and make this a neat old experience. Look at that. I'm a lot smaller. I'm a lot more compact. Not a lot of background stuff going on. I still need to get myself a green screen, so that'll happen at some point, and not wear this green shirt when I do. Okay, I think that's enough for video capture. Now we're going to move on to the next part, and that is probably the most important part. The most important thing you're going to want to put on your Twitch source is the game capture. This will capture your games. Mind you, you can also do it with monitor capture if you have the game in borderless window mode. That's how I do most of my game captures, because this can get a little bit annoying and you can forget certain things that you have to do. And I'm going to explain all that right now. So if we go to game capture, you can also select other programs that aren't specifically games, like Spotify, just like window capture, only this is specifically for games. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up Rocket League really quick, as there are no games to list here at the moment. Just give this a moment to boot up. Bam, look at that. Rocket League is open and ready to go, and we're capturing this right now because it's in borderless window, because if we click Alt Tab, it's not going to close down the program and minimize it. It's just going to put it in the background. So if we hit refresh, it should automatically put Rocket League on the application, because it finds games specifically. And if it's not there, there are some games that do not really support OpenGL, and it's hard to get them selected. Another reason why I use either window capture or monitor capture, those work as well. So if your game isn't coming up on this list, use one of those two other methods, or find a new game. because it's very rarely that that does happen, only with like really underground indie games, but it will happen sometimes. If it's not fitting properly, if it's in a weird resolution, stretch image to screen. You don't need to capture the mouse cursor for all games, but if you want to, click that button. I don't really use these three here, but if you find a use for them, then go for it. We're going to click OK, and look at that. Rocket League is now being broadcasted and is at the top of the list, so it is covering literally everything else. So we're going to hold Control and click down a couple times until all of the most amazing things on our stream are there. This is what makes our stream personalized and unique. We're going to get that. And if you notice that, like, I went to go click my face and it didn't click it the first time, just go ahead and click it through the list here and then move it like that. It's an easier way to select it. So then we got that up in the corner. We're going to put this lovely broad above me. Good. And then we're going to put, you know, Smooth McGroove, and we're going to put the text on the bottom here. This is a good setup. See, I'm going to make millions being a streamer with this setup. This is the key, guys. You gotta pay attention to the ways of the zombie. You'll know what you're doing. Okay, we're done game capture. Thank you. Words. And now we're going to go on to nothing else, because video is another third-party program. Okay, now we are at the part of the video where I'm going to teach you guys a little trick, and this is something that's been highly requested with you guys, and that is putting your chat in your stream. How do you do that, you ask? Well, there's a couple steps, and we're going to go over them right now. Okay, if we have Google Chrome open right here, we're going to go to Chrome extensions, because there's an extension you need in order to do this properly. We're going to go to Chrome Web Store extensions, and we're going to search up Better TTV. And this is an extension called Better Twitch TV. You should find it down here under the extensions on the first one. I already added it. I suggest you guys add it to your Twitch as well, because it gives you enhancements and extra features of your Twitch website that won't be available unless you do this. And then once you have it added, just go over to Twitch TV. We want to go to Dashboard. Now, I will note that there are other programs out there that you can use in order to have your chat show up on your stream, although this is like the most convenient one that I can find to use. I like using it this way because it's reliable, and the last program that I used, it was called Chatty or something. It didn't really work properly, and I wasn't a big fan of it. So we're going to go this way. We're going to open this back up. Now, after you have Better Twitch TV installed, you're going to be able to pop out your chat. This makes it a separate window completely. And you can put it anywhere you want for convenience. I like usually putting it where I can see it, obviously, because I like talking to my my little undead family. And then we're going to be able to go black chat, chroma key. If you go back under the preference or settings tab, we're going to be able to make a black chat. Now this is the key to being able to have your chat show up properly in your stream. We're going to hit black chat, chroma key, bam. Makes that whole thing black. Isn't that, I hope. For some reason I just got this bad feeling that I wasn't actually recording. I am. Okay. Now the chat is black. So if I type a bunch of nonsense here, there you go. We're going to set that up. And now we're going to go over here, back to our OBS, right click, add window capture. Look at that, window capture 2, name it whatever you want. Herd Zombie, Twitch, Google Chrome. There should be another one that'll say dashboard if that is up. Don't select that one. You want to select the one that says Herd Zombie, Twitch, Google Chrome. Don't capture the mouse cursor as well, just so when you select over things, if you're going to ban somebody and they don't know it, then they won't be able to see it. Or your contemplation of doing it. Go down here, we're going to select a sub-region, because at first it's going to select the whole thing, the chat box where you type the URL at the top, and we don't want that showing up in the stream. So we can select the sub-region right here, or you can do it through the Alt size change, holding the Alt and changing the size through the edits scene. And I think that's pretty good right there, because remember there is a scroll bar on the side and we don't really want to see that either. So we're going to select that region there. And we're going to use chroma key because there's no black in the chat names or the fonts or any of shit like this. So we're going to go ahead and select black. I usually change the blend a little bit. So we're going to go with like say 16 and we're going to click OK. There you go, everybody. There's your chat. Chroma keyed. Whee! And then you can put that wherever you want. And then if you want to make it smaller, once your chat gets a little bit bigger, you hold Alt because it always comes up from the bottom first. So it'll show you the most recent and then you can just make it a little bit more tiny. So if I just go like this a couple times, there you go. And then every current chat line that comes up, it's going to come up right here. So I just keep it typing the same thing so you can't really notice. So that is how to put your chat in your OBS for all the people that were wondering and you were all thinking it was a super cool, super complicated process. It's very simple, and I hope you guys utilize that to the best of your ability on your streams, and I cannot wait to see what you guys can come up with to make your streams as unique as this one. I dare you beat me. I dare you. Okay guys, I think that just about covers the basics of scenes and sources for OBS. I hope you guys learned a lot. I hope you guys learned a little bit at least, because if not, then all that frustration I went through yesterday with the technical difficulties was for nothing, and I'll hate you for it. So if you enjoyed this, make sure to leave a like down below. If I missed anything that you're unsure of, please leave a comment down below letting me know, and I will answer at the soonest possible time to go over with you what you need to do in order to fix the problem that you are having. And if there's anything else you want to see, any tutorials that I haven't covered yet, please again as well leave that in the comment section down below, and I will make sure if I get enough requests to do those tutorials as well. I will remind you that I don't usually do tutorials, so this is something that I'm not used to, and my voice feels very hoarse right now and is a little bit sore. I'm not used to talking this consistently. Anyways guys, I'm going to leave you with that. Again, I hope you enjoyed. My name of course is HurtZombie, and I will talk to you all in the next tutorial. Bye guys.
Fuck Mexico! Horseshit.